Have you ever had a question on an exam and had no idea what the answer is? Well, I'm sure you have. It happens to everyone. And it will happen to you on the NCLEX because that's the nature of a computer adaptive test. It will find your breaking point. So what are some of the tools that top test takers use to answer questions that are out of their current knowledge base? I'm about to break down a question like this and show you a basic strategy that you can use to drastically increase your score on exams, especially on questions about content that you don't understand or aren't familiar with. Stay tuned for an NCLEX super strategy coming right up. So now this question was posted by the NCSBN into the public domain on their website. And I didn't write this question, but I'd love to share with you some strategies that you can use to break it down and totally crush this question on the NCLEX. Here's a question. An 80-year-old client who is experiencing unintentional weight loss is admitted with a diagnosis of malnutrition. The nurse understands that which of these lab tests is most sensitive measure of nutritional status? A, serum calcium, B, urine creatinine, C, serum albumin, or D, urinary protein. So here's the strategy. Remember, we always want to start by rewriting the question in our own words in our head. So ask yourself, when I'm looking at lab reports, what's the best indicator of nutritional status? That's all this question's asking. This is one of those questions that's both easy and really challenging at the same time. Well, how can that be? Well, that's because this is not an application question. This is just assessing your knowledge about basic lab values. And they want to know if you know what to monitor for nutrition status. If you know that, and you know it straight off, it's an easy question. But if you don't know the answer straight off, it's really difficult because we don't have a whole lot of other strategies that we can use to break it down. But I do have one in my back pocket we're going to use. What we want to do with this is start eliminating things that we know are wrong based on big kind of high level content. Think way back to basic A&P when we were studying about nutrition and metabolism and our bones and how we maintain all of this different stuff with hormones. Because remember, there's things that you need to know in nursing, just basic facts. But then there's things that you need to understand. They're concepts and they're the way things work together and influence each other. And this question, it falls into the straight up facts category. So the first thing you want to use is your knowledge. If you know the answer and you see it there, go for it. If you don't know it and you were just to simply guess and not use any strategy, you're going to have a 1 in 4 chance, 25% chance of getting this question right. So let's apply a strategy that we can use to increase those odds. You will get questions like this on the NCLEX where you have no idea what the answer is and maybe no idea even what the question is about, because the NCLEX always asks you questions, pretty much every single one. It estimates that you have a 50% chance of knowing the answer or getting that question correct. That's why every question on the NCLEX is hard, because you're debating. It could be this or it could be that. So now let's go back to A&P as I mentioned. Let's think about some big concepts. What organ determines what comes out of our urine and what gets reabsorbed? Because we noticed two things about the answers on this question. 2 of them were serum labs, blood labs, and 2 of them were urine labs. So again, what's monitoring what comes out of our urine? What's going to be our kidneys, right? So if our kidneys aren't functioning, a lot of times they let out extra stuff and let out things that we don't normally want to see. So in this case, creatinine or protein. This question is asking about nutrition status. It's not asking about renal function. So if you're not dead set that it's one of those 2 urine labs, let's just cross those off, because that's assessing kidney function. We're not looking at kidney function, we're looking at nutrition. So now if we cross those 2 out, we've only got 2 left. We're up to 50-50. We just doubled our odds using that one strategy. Just think bigger picture. So now, let's look at calcium. What do we remember about calcium in our blood from A&P? Think big level stuff. We know it's calcium stored mostly in our bones. We know PTH is involved. We got osteoclasts and osteoblasts. None of that really, to me, sounds like nutrition. A lot of that just sounds like hormones and different cells doing different things. So that really doesn't make sense. So if I didn't know this answer straight off, I could eliminate those three and I'm left with serum albumin. As it is, that's the correct answer. Serum albumin is the best indicator of nutritional status. So remember, you have this huge knowledge base that you bring into this exam. Think all the way back to A&P. Think big concepts, things that you learned a long time ago. Just apply that basic thinking to these questions and start removing some of the answers as possibilities, and it brings up your odds. Apply what you know and you're going to do well. So if you found this information helpful, go ahead and spread the love. You can email a link to this video to one of your classmates. You can post some comments below here. Let me know what you think. Tell me where you still feel stuck or where I can help you out more. I'd love to hear about your experiences, so keep me posted. You think people know I'm not wearing any pants? Nah, don't worry, I'm wearing pants. Underpants. Creepy.